Guys, I have a product review for you, and well, it is the iCast 2019 Best of for baitcasters. It's the SLX DC. Can't wait to try this reel out. So right around the start of iCast, I kind of hinted that I'm going to be getting one of these to try out. And well, I'm excited to check out the brand new Shimano SLX DC. I was able to get my hands on a 150 HG, which is the high geared 7.2 to 1 gear ratio. So let's go through some basic stats on this reel, just some information that's on the box so you know what you're getting when you get one of these. So right off the bat, you already know that this is a 7.2 to 1 gear ratio reel. The reel has 11 pounds of drag. It weighs 7.6 ounces according to the packaging. It has 4 ball bearings plus 1 in a roller, and it is going to retrieve 30 inches of line per turn. Another fact that you guys need to know is that this reel is packing the exact same DC system that the Curado reel has, the IDC4. It also has the Hagani framing and gears. So this is a great reel. Just based off of that, I think it's gonna be a phenomenal reel for a lot of people. But let's see what is in the box. So right off the bat, what we have here in the box, we have the reel. Now I already went ahead and put line on this, but that is all I have done. I've turned it by hand a few times and I filled it with line. That is it. I have yet to cast this. So later in this video, when I'm casting this, you're gonna see my very first impressions of what this reel is like. In the box, you're also gonna get some of the classic Shimano Bantam oil. You're gonna get an instruction manual and a schematic. So if you ever need to work on it, you can do so. So I wanna check out something though that's a little different than what the Curado DC has. On the Curado DC, when you turn this dial all the way past 1, it goes to open, and then you just turn the side plate and it comes right off. On this one, they have a little button right here, and then you can turn it and she pops right off. As you can see, it looks exactly the same as the Curado in that sense. It is a all metal frame, aluminum anodized spool. Other than that, it's just your classic Shimano reel. Nothing special, nothing flashy, other than Hagani and the DC system. So that's it for what this reel is out of the packaging. Let's go rig it up on a rod, tie a weight on it, put a measuring tape out, and let's see how far we can cast this SLX DC. So what I'm going to be testing this reel on is a G-Loomis E6X. This is the 803C JWR, so it's a 6/8 medium heavy extra fast bait casting rod. I'm going to be throwing a 1/2 ounce sinker on this. This rod's rated for 3/16 to 5/8, so kind of middle, but kind of towards the upper end there. So we're going to rig this weight on. I'm going to set up tape, and we're going to go cast this baby and see what she can do. Have the tape stretched out to 200-foot tape. I believe when I did the DC, the Curado DC, I was like 165, 195, somewhere in there, so I didn't quite max it out. So we'll see what I can do with the SLX DC. So first things first, on any baitcaster, you need to set the tension control correctly. So how we do that, we're gonna hang the weight, release the thumb bar, and see that, well, that's going a little too fast. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna tighten this up, bring it back up, and the idea is that this weight will fall and hit the ground and the spool should stop spinning. And keep doing that till you get to whatever you're comfortable with. That's fairly light. I'm good with that. It's usually where I set mine. But everybody's a little different. If you're fairly new to bait casters, set it a little bit tighter. That way it's more forgiving. But you also have the DC control, so that's going to help you out quite a bit as well and shorten that learning curve here on the baitcaster. So now that I have that tension set the way I want it, we're going to make sure that this dial is set to 4 for this very first cast, and we're going to go through each setting and we're going to see how this reel performs. So this is the SLX DC set on 4. Zero thumbing required on that entire cast. So I'm excited to see just how far we casted this. All right, there's the weight. We are at 100 feet 5 inches. So let's reel this in. We're gonna go down to setting 3 and we'll see how much further our next cast is. So time for our second test cast. We're gonna change this dial to 3. As you can see, set to 3. Didn't change anything with the tension knob. I do have a slight breeze out here, but it shouldn't really affect the cast at all. So let's give this another hurl downrange. No backlash at all, and as you can see, a lot of line came off this reel this time. All right, let's walk this out and let's see where we're at. We are at 187 feet and 9 inches on setting 3. Now setting 3 is what I normally use the DC reel on most of the time. Occasionally on a 2, but most of the time it is set up on setting 3 when I am out fishing. So on the second cast, we got 187 feet. Wow, impressive. Quite honestly, that's a very long cranking in with a 7.2. It's even a long time. And I'm literally reeling in the entire length of that cast right now while I'm talking to you. So, like I said a second ago, I generally only use the DC reels on the 3 setting. I rarely use the 2, and I pretty much never use the 1, and I'll tell you why I hardly ever use the 1 a little later in this video. But let's set this to number 2. And let's give her a whirl downrange. So, on setting 3, we did get a little bit of backlash, but this is one of those backlashes that you can just go like this, and she's gone. Gone, no more backlash. So not a big deal. We're gonna find where it's tight. There we go. Now it's time to walk to see how much further it was on 2. Whoopsie. Caught the line up with my sandals there. We're rolling again. Oh, buddy. So, this one was a little less. 177 feet. The cast before was 187 feet. Now you're asking yourself, but it's set on 2, it should cast further. Yes, it should. But when I was watching that spool, I saw a lot of opportunities where it would have bird nest really, really bad. So when that computer chip turns on, it's going to take away some of the distance that you're going to get because it's doing what your thumb does. So you are going to lose some distance, but say that was a perfect cast and there was no chance of backlash, that would have been well over 200 feet without even trying. Like you can see, if you took an absolute perfect cast, yeah, on setting 2, you're gonna bomb it. But I'm also using 30-pound Maxcuatro braid. Say I had mono or fluorocarbon, I probably would have had a much cleaner cast in that number 2 setting, but I'm using braid because, well, I like to use braid on this particular rod a lot. Now there is another setting on this reel. It's the number 1 setting. What I just told you is that I never use it on the Curado DC, and you know what? I'm not going to use it. This reel has one more setting, and that's what I'm going to call the expert setting. And well, I'm not an expert at throwing a baitcaster. Guys like Kevin Van Dam, Scott Martin, they probably are a little bit better than me at throwing them. But I'm pretty much your average skill set, maybe a little bit above. And I never use the number 1 setting on the Curado DC. And honestly, I would never use it on the SLX DC either. Because, well, I'm pretty much guaranteeing I'm going to backlash this. Now, a more skilled angler or better conditions, it's not going to happen probably as well for them. But I think for the average guy, setting 3 is going to be your sweet spot where you're going to live 99% of the time. What do I think of the Shimano SLX DC? It's a $189 price point. It is bringing down that DC category down closer to the average working man price point without a crazy amount of saving up for it. The SLX lineup is generally geared towards that introductory, the college, the high school kid, or just the old guy that doesn't want to spend a lot of money on gear. Now, the main difference between the standard SLX and this is that this is a 150 size reel, so it's a much larger framing, more of your standard baitcaster side, where the standard SLX is a little bit smaller, a little harder to hold if you have bigger sausage fingers like me. So this size fits me a lot better. So, would I buy this reel? Based off of my few casts I just did, yeah, I would say go ahead and give this reel a try. Is it better than the Curado DC? You're gonna have to tune into the next video when I cast these head to head and we talk about the subtle differences between these two reels. Thank you guys for tuning into the channel. If you like me doing videos like this, give the video a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments what you think of the Shimano SLX DC reel. Have you got a chance to see one yet? Have you played with one? Have you casted one of them? Are you one of those lucky few that have gotten the chance to play with one? It did just come out at iCast. It did win Best of Show for the bait casting lineup. So this is going to be a hard to get real hot commodity this fall and winter. So if you see one and you want one, you might want to start saving up now so you can snag it when it comes time. Thank you for tuning into the channel, guys. Click down below, hit the red subscribe button, ding the notification bell if you are new here. And as always, tight lines, happy casting, and we'll see you in the next video.